Hello, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Comments will appear soon. This is weird. They changed this.
Oh.
Hey, everybody.
Sound check?
Yep, we need a sound check. Where's everyone from?
Facebook is updated, so.
Yeah, this is all weird now. So there's one person popping on. I love when they change it and like we have no idea. Tom, what's up? How are you? 9 people. So everybody say hello. Where are you from? Sound is good. Good.
Cool.
We're inside because it's kind of crappy outside.
Yeah.
Mama.
And I'll tell you, I'm not happy with the temperature of this swim spot right now.
I turned up the temperature hi Leslie, like 3.5 hours ago, and it went up 3.5 degrees. And Mary is not satisfied with the temperature. She would like it warmer, and it's cold outside, so
It is.
I can't say that I disagree. All right. Let's see.
And it's like been a yucky couple of days.
It is.
Here.
It's rainy and just crappy.
Damp and cold.
Good to see everybody. Love to see where everyone is watching from. That's awesome. All right, Ontario. My mom on there. My mom and I going out for a lunch, just the two of us on Friday, which is awesome.
That's because it's Ben's birthday tomorrow.
I was not going to mention that.
But I did.
Thank you. Awesome. All right, so today, see, you know what? I can't turn the camera around. Oh, yeah, I can. They changed all the buttons.
Oh, okay.
So I updated my phone. Facebook is updated. It's all different now, so we're always sort of learning when we go here. There we go. But we're inside today for our winter special because it's really cruddy outside. Not that I wouldn't use the swim spot outside, but obviously, but for the live purposes.
Yeah,
windy,
it's super windy.
Yeah, windy, blustery.
Yeah.
So awesome. Good to see
You
everyone.
probably wouldn't be able to hear us very well.
All right, I'm going to turn the camera around. Now it's on you.
Hi.
You look comfortable in the corner. It's not that cold.
It's not.
It's 92 degrees.
But even though we are inside and it's yucky outside, we actually are going to talk about, now that it's fall and winter is coming, what are some suggestions on, how to make sure your hot tub or swim spa is ready for the winter? And we're just going to talk about too why winter is really awesome to use your hot tub or swim spa. And if you have a master spas especially, they are made to be great in the winter. Other than just, it's awesome to use a hot tub in the winter time.
Say hi to Donna.
Hi, Donna. And they're awesome in the winter time, but the way that master spas are insulated and your cover, it's made to be really awesome, even more awesome in the winters.
Yep. And it's funny. I'll spin this around. We get a couple of questions for, winterizing and all that stuff. And man, unless you're not going to be there, I just can't see it at all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the absolute time. I mean, these things came from the cold climates. They came from the winters. Man, they're amazing. Actually, we need to say hello to like everybody. There's a bunch of people on here.
Cool.
So hi everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Let's see. So
it's getting so neat. Now we've been doing this for a while, and you get to see, you people who join us every other week, and it's, even though we don't know you in person, it's really awesome to see that you come on
Totally
every
awesome.
week, and it's just, like I said to somebody earlier this week, actually, we have fun with this. It was never something that we didn't really know what was going to happen with it. We have fun with it, but having you come every week, some of you, and comment and question, it's been really neat to see the progression of this. So.
It is for sure. And it's like we really do love this stuff.
Yeah.
I love this swim spas, the hot tubs, not just the swim spas, the hot tubs too.
Yeah.
They get love. And this is really awesome. It's really fun. Steve, hi. So, so there, we're actually reading the questions while they come up. Sometimes they come up so fast and scroll up that we can't really see them. It is just a little iPhone. But, I had a fun conversation today with Kirk, my man Kirk, and sometimes he pops on here and watches, and he doesn't really say much though, but he's always watching. He's the chief of customer service, and he has a viewpoint that has, I mean, I love to ask him questions because he sees things from a viewpoint that none of us get to see. And he's very bright, and he's been there a long time. So we had some questions presented to us today, and then I went a little further with them with sort of a list of things not to do, with what he sees and problems that people have. And it always sort of boils down to the same couple of things, which is sort of interesting. And that's sort of in our wheelhouse of talking about winterization. And not that I will not be winterizing. We'll be in there all the time.
We will. I mean, if today the weather is just bad here. It's not because it's cold that we're
it's
not
windy.
at
Yeah, it's
Ben's,
windy.
but it's really windy, and it's not good for the sound.
Yeah, it's terrible, actually.
We will definitely be doing lives at Ben's outside. We did some last year at other customers' homes, but
So, milestone follower Tim McDonald, Leavenworth, Kansas, a gated community. Do you mean the prison? Oh. I think that's what that means. Leavenworth, the prison, the federal prison, which is absolutely hilarious. A gated community. I love it. That's amazing. So you get a shout out for that because I think that's what you mean, and it's awesome.
Yep. So we will be outside.
Okay. So I'll let you hold that. You hold that.
Where do you want?
I don't know. Wherever you want.
Okay. All
What
right.
do you want to talk about first? How about draining and refilling?
Okay. I'm trying to read the questions.
You can't. They're coming too fast.
They are
Which way is it pointing?
towards me right now, but I will face it towards you. Talk about draining.
You gotta be careful when you put it up that close, because if you don't trim your nose hairs,
I'm more worried about my eyebrows, but I did just have them done.
they look. You know what? I don't understand. I just had this conversation with Beth. I have never seen the difference as a guy between her eyebrows, and she's like, "Yeah, they get out of control." She doesn't. Out of control. I don't see it. I hear you say it. Beth says it. I don't understand it. So I assure ladies, no guy cares.
Tim said that he's glad you got his joke.
I love the gated community. I love it. That's great. Now, Tim, you may not know, back in the day, I used to be a correction officer for the state of Connecticut. After the Marines, correction officer. I've done a lot of different things. So I do get it.
Oh, so so talk about draining and refilling.
Okay.
So with a swim spa,
You want me to talk about it?
sure.
Okay, so swim spas don't have a drain inside. We actually thought they did. Maybe they used to, but they don't now. Okay, so the best way to do it is either a submersible pump or like a siphon with a hose. So we're going to talk about those two things and what we've been doing here. I've always done a pump. I have run 2 small pumps. Our large dealers have huge pumps that drain these things really fast. Most people aren't going to have that at their home. I don't. I have a regular pump, and I have recently stopped using it. Here's why. A small, like 1/4 horsepower, 1/3 of a horsepower pump to drain a Trainer 15 deep or a Challenger 15 is about 1,900 gallons. It takes the better part 7 hours, 8 hours. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a day, okay, of that pump running, which is fine. I for some reason, if we came to drain this and we put the sump pump in here in the morning and then left to go to the gym, I'd be fine to go to the gym, but I wouldn't want to go and like conduct my day that was 6 hours long because I'd be nervous that it was going to run dry. And the worst case scenario there would be that you fried a sump pump. So that's always sort of in the back of my mind, and you know, Mary and I have anxiety anyway, so it just sort of causes anxiety in me. But what doesn't cause anxiety to me, the last time we did it, I ran the hose, and this is in the warehouse. I haven't actually changed the water at home yet, but we're going to before the winter. I'll get back to that. So I put the hose in the bottom of the swim spa here, and then we have our warehouse doors around the corner. I ran the hose out, and then you put the hose in the swim spa, make sure it's on the bottom, and then you just suck on the hose until the water starts coming, and then it starts the siphon. And literally will siphon out the entire contents of the tub. So what we do now is I actually start it the day before. I put the hose in the bottom, I start the siphon, I run this far out of our commercial door, close the door, it doesn't seal the hose, and then we just leave.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And we come back the next day and there's this much. We can run the pump for the last, 25 minutes or whatever it is. But it was you could do that with 3 hoses.
And you can do the same thing with the hot tubs. So Ben is talking about a swim spa right now. The hot tubs do have a drain behind your access panel where your pumps are, underneath your control panel. However, if you don't want to take that panel off, you don't have to. You can do the siphon or do the pump.
Now, a pump on a hot tub is fast. So I would just pump that and not care too much about it, because you're going to be there an hour and it'll be done. So, or something like that, maybe a little more.
You need to contact your dealer about those things. We don't really have anything to do with that. So you can contact your dealer about that.
Okay. So that's how we drain it, and then we just fill it. Now, at the warehouse, we have amazing water pressure. It's city water here, and it's amazing. So we run 2 hoses to fill it, and we fill this thing. How long did that take last time? Hour and a half? Hour?
Yeah, maybe. We have really good pressure here.
This 15-footer, which I've never run 2 hoses full speed before here, and I was stunned how fast it was. So that's great. So when we do it that way, it's effortless. But I want to talk about another little trick. When water gets cloudy, and we see this in the Master Spas Facebook group all the time, cloudy water, cloudy water, cloudy water. It's never the swim spa, it's never, actually it could be the chemicals, it's always the people, okay? I'm not casting, judgment and whipping you, because we do it, we've done it. We've had our water get cloudy. When we leave and do this and do that, it happens. Okay, so this is a nice little trick that we tried recently at the warehouse. We were gone, and there was a little bit, when cloudiness starts on a hot tub or a swim spa, it typically starts on the bottom. So we put the pump in, and this was, it was like a blood transfusion on the fly. We put the pump in the bottom, started pumping out, put the hose in, matched the speed with the valve on the hose, and kind of pumped out the bottom of the water, and within 2 hours, the water was spotless clear, and the temperature never really went down, so we didn't have to wait for that. So don't think that you have to change all that water to sort of make a correction, because that was something that it never really occurred to me. I'm sort of an all or none type of a person, and this worked really, really well. So you set the pump up and then brought the new water in at the same pace. The level of the water never changed, and the water, the little cloudiness that was, we just caught it just when it started. There was a little bit of cloudiness on the bottom, pumped it right out, the water looked great, 1 day done. So, and we put in, quite a bit of water. We let it do that for a while. So the water, I don't even know how much we changed, but the water was great and still is. So that's one thing you can do if you want to do a little oil change on the fly, or you can drain the whole thing, whether you use a pump, whether you use the siphon, and then fill it back up. Now, you want me to go right into winterization?
Sure. Do you shut the power off when draining?
So if you're draining the whole thing, yes, absolutely. If you're doing the siphon overnight, yes, absolutely shut the power off. If you're doing the water change, I did not shut the power off, but you need to watch it. You need to not leave for that, because the water goes too low, you're going to run something dry, and that would be bad. So if you're pumping out faster than you're putting in, or vice versa, you could overflow it, you could go too low. So when we did that on the fly water change, we did leave it on for that, but we were here and never left and never took our eyes off it. So on the winterization, I'm not a fan. We see some funny things. We see odd failure times. If people are snowbirds and they leave for 3 months every year, everything dries out and they get premature issues with the hot tub. We see that often, not always, but we have seen it. So winterization is definitely frowned upon, but it will not void the warranty. But here's where the issue lies. It's up to you. If you don't have your dealer come and do it, it's up to you to make sure that every drop of that water's out and you use the correct antifreeze in there, okay? So the procedure in a nutshell is you shut the breaker off, drain the pump out, however, or pump the tub out, however you want to do it, and then you need to go in the cabinet, loosen up all the unions, you need to get a vacuum, you need to get every last drop out of the tub, you need to get it, then turn the blower around and blow through the jets to get the water on the inside of the cabinet, then vacuuming out of there, out of those pumps. There's little drain plugs in the bottom of the pumps to get that water out of there. You need to take all those off and then obviously put that all back in and put antifreeze in the jets in every seat, so that there's a lot of plumbing in there. So the problem that we see from time to time, or maybe not even time to time, because we have a lot of hot tubs and swim spas made in the last 25 years, is that if you miss something, PVC, and this is what I was told, like verbatim, PVC plastic, whether it's the flex, whether it's Schedule 40, the pump housings, they don't crack on their own. When they fail, it doesn't crack, okay? Water damage, freeze damage, cracks. Now, if it cracks, just because you winterize doesn't void the warranty, but if you do something improper and it results in damage, that is not covered by warranty, okay? And this is where that comes from. If you turn the temperature down, let's say you went to Florida for 3 months, 2.5 months, whatever you do in the wintertime, if you turn that temperature all the way down, it's not gonna use a lot of power, especially on a newer tub. They're really, really good on I almost said gas. They're almost really good on gas, on energy. So I would do that and have someone come, every couple of weeks and throw some chlorine in it. It'd be fine.
Someone asked, what if they go away for a month?
For a month, I would never do it. I would never do it. For a month, I would turn the temperature all the way down. I mean, I wouldn't even consider winterizing it for a month. Turn the temperature down, clean the filters, hit it so that your chlorine levels were at the top of where they should be, turn the filtration up a little bit and go. It'll be fine. Your worst case scenario, it's a little cloudy when you come back, but it may not be.
After you shut off the power and drain it, will the settings on your control panel go back?
Yeah, they'll go back.
Okay.
So they remember. All right. So now the winterization, back to that. So you've got to be really, really thorough when you do that. You can't cut corners, and if you think you didn't get that water out of there, you're going to have an issue, and that is not covered under warranty. Okay. Now here's the other scenario that I never even thought about, and back in the day, corrections, plumber, I did it all. Something that was explained to me, if you get a slight crack or a slight expansion in something when you winterize and then you refill it within a couple of weeks or a month, you might get a failure of something when it heats up and expands. All of a sudden it expands that little crack and now you have a leak. That also will not be covered under warranty, and how they can tell is that any kind of freeze damage results in a crack, and that doesn't happen under any other circumstances. Okay, so that's where that comes in. You got to be really careful, and we would advise you to have a dealer do it, because they're going to be much more apt to do a great, perfect job, since they've done it a lot of times. If you're nervous about it, man, pay the money, have your dealer do it, almost like you would an RV.
Yeah. What would you drop if you're leaving it up and running but are away? What would you drop the temperature to?
All the way down, 80. So then the last thing on the winterization, if that cover, let's say you went to Florida or Hawaii or St. Thomas, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're away and obviously you're leaving that area because the weather's harsh, if your cover blows off or opens or lets some moisture in, which covers do allow some moisture in, that does happen, okay? If that happens and enough water gets in there, goes into the pipes and then freezes, again, even if you did it right, it's on you. That's why it's I don't want to say frowned upon, but it's not highly recommended, okay? Because it just turns into problems. Whether it was either negligence and someone didn't do it correctly, believe it or not, we have come across owners who were a little negligent, believe it or not. All right?
There are so many questions.
Yeah, look at the Reels videos on Facebook. Those are the same people who own hot tubs and they jump their three-wheelers off a cliff into the water and don't understand why they broke every bone in their body. Same people. So you have to be careful. So if you're going to do that, you do a great job. You put the cover on, and you also, something else I read in there was leave a little air gap under the cover because for mold reasons. But then you need to put a tarp over it and really strap that tarp down to really make sure that no moisture gets in there, and certainly not enough to get into those return on the bottom where you could have a problem with your plumbing. So have a dealer do it. Have them show you best practices for getting a waterproof tarp over it and really secure it. Because if that happens, it's your problem. Not that we won't fix it, but you'll be on the hook for the money.
Adam, we actually recommend, in terms of what temperature should you leave the hot tub at during the winter if you're using it, to leave it at the temperature that you like, because of how well these hot tubs and swim spas are insulated, they are going to actually use more energy to drop the temperature and then trying to raise it back up a day early. You are much better off to leave it, and you're actually saving more energy that way.
And they're so efficient now anyway. That's probably one of the biggest questions we get asked. You know, how long does it take to warm back up once you turn it down in the wintertime? Let me put it this way, like right out tonight, what it'll be 40 degrees tonight here?
Yeah.
So it might be 40 degrees, not terribly cold, but it's not warm in any way. So if let's say you take my swim spot home is like 97 degrees right now, it's so awesome. Might be 98, I don't know where Beth
Wish we were there.
Yeah. even in the wind, you wouldn't be able to hear us, but we'd be warm. So if we turn that down tonight to 80, from let's say it's 97, and we turn it down to 80, and then we're getting in there tomorrow night, it probably wouldn't even cool off 2 degrees.
Right.
They're that efficient. So again, and people always ask, can I put propane in there? You'll get that old codger guy. I want to put propane in there, it's more efficient. No, it's not. Tell him to shut up, okay? What you want to do is just leave it at temperature. It's not that we produce the heat so efficiently with electric, it's that we're really good at hanging
Insulated, yeah.
That's the name of the game. If it snows, you'll have to get that snow off your hot tub or swim spa, okay?
Jackie, if your water is clean and clear, and it's Jackie Gregory.
Jackie?
Yeah.
I know Jackie.
Yeah. If your water is clean and clear, then no, you don't need to change it out. You know, we have people who definitely leave it in
I've got a butt in
for more than a year.
Jackie, I've got a butt
Okay.
for you, okay? So take my swim spot, for example. That water we did that in April. So that water is 6 months old right now. It's perfect. It does not need to be changed. But the winter here, we're in Connecticut, just like Jackie's in Indiana.
I think so.
I think so. I think Jackie's in Indiana. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. I swear I'm not stalking you. Or maybe I am. So that you have a long time between December and April again, and the company. So I have a well. I'm not filling my swim spot with my well. I have a pool water company come. They can't run in the wintertime because the reservoirs where they get water are frozen. And I'm damn sure that's the case where you are too. Any place really cold, that's going to be the problem. So I'm going to probably do it in in the next couple of weeks because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's
I know.
October already. So I'm going to do it just because I can, and I want to, and I want to make sure that we don't have any issue with that water in the winter when I can't do it. Okay, so in your harsh climates, that's sort of a segue into the next topic on this. I recommend changing the water end of October, November in your harsh climates, because then you're not going to have an issue in January where there is no getting of, unless you're on city water and you can handle it, that's fine. And on a warm day, you can change it when it's 32 or 40 degrees out. It won't hurt anything, you'll be fine.
And we recommend once a year for the swim spas, twice a year at least for the hot tubs. And yes, Ben might talk about this coming up next, but you will need to sweep the snow off the top of the cover because there is no heat or moisture escape from these covers, so they will not melt it.
What's next?
I'm not sure what your question was about the chemicals, but basically what we do in this swim spa and at Ben's swim spa at home is to just use chlorine at the end of the day that we use it.
Now, there are two methods that we always hear about, and you have very bright people that do it differently than we do, and they're great at it. So I tend to use chlorine in small increments every time we get out. Some people do the reverse with shock and chlorinate once a week. They both work. So this works for me. I'm not fighting it. I'm going for it. Okay? So there is that. I do like to shock once a week when I remember. I rarely remember.
Is there such a thing as too cold to use the swim spa?
No.
No.
No. In Winnipeg, Canada.
Yeah.
Freaking 40, 50 below zero. And that, I've been there once. It's so cold. Outside, go for it. But I don't know that I would go out.
Yeah.
40, 50 below.
We don't really use anything to clean the tub after it's empty, other than maybe a Mr. Clean Magic Erase if we've got some like water line spots.
And
But
a lot of dealers don't really even love that.
Yeah,
So
and
because
it is harsh.
It is a little
Abrasive,
on
yeah.
it. So be careful with that too. So we don't use it very much at all.
Yeah, so we don't really recommend using anything.
They don't need it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, icicle hair is the best.
Whoever that is lives in the cold, if they know about icicle hair. Icicle hair is funny. It doesn't feel, you don't feel it. It just happens. It's kind of fun. It is fun.
Actually, this is a good one that they visit their hot tub every weekend. It's at a second home. So how do I maintain the chemicals?
So I guess what I would do in that situation, I would turn the filtration up. You could turn it down while you were there for the weekend, but I would turn it up during the week. Maybe turn the temperature down, not for the energy savings, but because cooler water will use less chemicals and will remain stable for longer. So I would probably turn it down, turn filtration up, turn temperature down, clean filters and hit it before you leave, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Then when you get there, pop a little chlorine in there, wait 20 minutes, in you go, test strip, done.
And then with the chemicals, it doesn't matter which method you use. You won't void your warranty. You will void your warranty if...
Okay. So I actually asked, we had a question come in about something voiding the warranty. We'll pull the questions out in a minute about voiding the warranty. So I asked, what's the biggest problem you see in customer service? And so that actually got a chuckle. He chuckled before he answered, and he said probably one of the biggest, kind of silliest things. It's very clearly stated not to use improper chemicals in your hot tub or spa, swim spa. You want to use spa chemicals, and there's a reason, okay? And he went into great detail about it, which a lot of I knew, but a few of the little points that he made I didn't know, and didn't know exactly why we do some of the things we do, so that's why I asked the question. So you keep seeing this, people want to put a floater in the hot tub or swim spa, which comes in a tablet. A tablet is trichlorine, which is for pools. Spas use dichlor. I learned something about trichlor that I didn't know today from Kirk, who, man, this guy has probably come across every possible crazy scenario you could ever hear of. So what I didn't know is that it's very low pH, and it will lower your pH into the toilet, into the basement, into the ground, the grave, whatever you want to call it. So if you're using a floater with trichlor, it's super harsh. Chlorine levels are going up through the roof. pH is going down, so you're terribly out of balance. And what happens is you end up with that space. So if you follow me over here, the cover sits here, and you have this space. So there'll be a situation where someone says, I've only had my swim spa a month and I've got rust all over my stainless steel. That's usually the reason is not letting it off gas or using trichlor. So trichlor, if you took that tab and you threw it in the bottom of this swim spa, it will bleach out, it will cause damage of that acrylic. If that happens, absolutely void your warranty. Okay, and that's why we wanted to talk about it. This is sort of on the list of things not to do. So don't use that trichlor. It's not the same, okay? Dichlor is much more gentle, and it's neutral in the pH. So it doesn't mess up your pH, all right? So in a pinch, oh, I'm all out of this. I don't want to go to the store. I'm going to throw some pool chlorine in there. Don't,
yeah.
Okay?
What about baking soda?
Okay. So that was one of the questions.
Yeah, and someone else asked it also.
So baking soda to raise alkalinity, right? Raise.
Something like that.
Raises. So either way, it doesn't matter. So I asked that question also. And if it's the exact same chemical and percentage makeup of the proper chemical that comes from spa chemical manufacturers, you're okay. It won't void the warranty, and you'd be safe to do so. But if you get regular baking soda that has some kind of a scent in it that is made for the refrigerator, there's something else in it. And that's where, if that destroys something, and it's something that we may not even know about,
right,
that is not covered. So you would be on the hook. Okay, so I just don't recommend it. And that stuff doesn't really change that much. I mean, I can't tell you in the last 10 years of hot tubbing and swim spying, or even longer, 17 years since our first one, I've never done that, and on the pH and alkalinity up and down, I think I've probably spent $50 in the last 17 years on it.
Yeah.
Because it mostly just used shock and
Chlorine, yeah.
So that stuff you shouldn't be using all that much anyway. And if you're going to save $2 or $5, it's not worth it. Just get the stuff that you're supposed to have. It works better anyway, and just do it right. And don't even cross that bridge. So meanwhile, if it's the exact same chemical in there, it's plain baking soda, will it work? Yes, it does work. Would I do it? I would do it if it's all I had. But if I had the option of getting the right stuff, I would get the right stuff. Okay?
Okay, I'm going to go through a couple of questions that are on here. We do not recommend putting it in winter mode if you're using it in the winter. Just maintain the temperature you like. Let's see. Clean the filters in a 15 deep about once a month. We can actually go through that in a second, but in the wintertime, you can bring your filters in the house and rinse them in your sink if you can't do it with your hose. To turn the filtration down on the swim spa or the hot tubs, you're going to use your control panel, and you just go to your filter cycles and you can adjust that right on your control panel. If you're not sure how to do that, you can check your owner's manual.
We probably don't clean our filters enough.
I agree.
But the water's always good, so...
How often do you run the filter? What do we have our filter cycles set
I think
to?
we turned it down. I think it might be
Like
6
and 6,
I think
yeah.
It's 6 and 6 hours here right now. We run quite a bit of filtration.
Clearing the snow off the cover. What about clearing the snow from around the cabinet? Is it necessary?
So it's not necessary, but just keep in mind that if you're walking around it, you may want to clear that just so that you can walk around it to open the cover or anything like that. Why are you smiling?
Because Darren is in Winnipeg and he has a Twilight, and -40 to -50 is still a possibility for using your hot tub.
Oh, man.
You are a crazy person, but that's awesome.
You know what? I felt it. Darren, I grew up in Connecticut. It's cold here, blah, blah, blah. I thought I knew cold. It's not cold. When I went there, you don't realize that anyone who's never been to a place that cold, little strips of skin between your gloves and your jacket, that's a no-no.
Yeah.
You need to be careful. Every restaurant has plugs for the gas cars, not diesel. It's a totally different thing.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Does it matter which brand of chemicals you use, and can you mix and match brands?
You can mix and match. Just make sure it's made for spas. And I will tell you, you guys have all heard this. Those regulars have heard this. I have had a bad batch of spa chemicals that I bought from Walmart. I won't name the brand. I'm not a basher. We've used it more than once. In a hurry, we were there, grabbed them, thought they were fine, and it did not have any active chlorine in it. And it did not work. I couldn't figure out for the life of me why the water was cloudy. Couldn't figure it out. And I said, let me go, just in case, let me go get a good bottle of chlorine. So I went and got a proper bottle of obviously spa chlorine, dichlor. All of a sudden the water's clear. It was a bad batch of chlorine or no active ingredient or whatever they did. So I would say get it from a pool and spa store, make sure it's for spas, and get the good stuff, and you won't have any issues. It doesn't matter if you mix and match.
Jay Parks, that is so awesome. He trained for his 70.3 exclusively in a Challenger and had his best swim time ever and qualified for a World Championship in 2022.
Dude.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Someone asked, the underneath fabric from the cover sags with and without water. Should I tie the loose fabric somehow?
I sort of need to see a picture of that too.
Yeah, I'm not.
Intelligently answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I wouldn't tie anything. It sounds like something is damaged or maybe is old or something like that. But maybe send a picture.
I mean, when it hangs down, it sags a little bit. But
personally, I would never do anything with that. If it's just regular, sagging from it, I wouldn't do anything with that.
So Eileen, you're going to want to adjust alkalinity first, A before C, and then chlorine, and then pH. I'm showing nothing right now. Sorry, guys. We're just grabbing the questions. We had them in a dry spot.
No, they're all wet now.
and now they're all
Are
wet.
these ones yours?
The smaller ones are mine.
Yeah, they're wet.
Okay, all right.
You wanna do mine?
We have a lot of questions on here.
We'll be on there tonight, guys, because it's already 35.
Wendy, we run this 6 hours a day in the morning and 6 hours in the afternoon for the filter cycle. We recommend concrete for a base.
Why don't we do these questions and those
Yep,
ones?
we can answer these later.
We'll get on there later on.
Yep, there's a lot on there. Okay, go ahead.
Can you please include any info for those living in warmer climates? I don't believe we have any extra steps. State Boat would like to make sure. Requested not to have their name listed. They're from Arizona, though. That's the question I got. No, everything is easy for you. It's cold here. It's warm where you are. We don't have any. No love for you. So
Just because you're in warm and we're in cold, that's why.
complete jealousy.
Yes.
Mr. or Mrs. Arizona, unnamed. Let's see. Below zero temps and power outages occasionally occur where I live. What is a good way to ensure my hot tub doesn't freeze if the outage lasts more than a day or two? Doug, do nothing. Okay, if your power goes off, remember when you were little and the power went off and your mom said, don't open the fridge?
Yeah.
Or she's gonna kick you? We're gonna kick you if you open it up. Leave the fridge closed. Leave it closed, strap it down. It will maintain for days. Okay? Your worst case scenario is, you know those little shop lights with the little push through to turn on, like you would work under the engine of a car and it's got a little hook on it? If you put one of those on a generator in there with the water in it and turn it on, that will generate enough heat and it will never freeze. Okay? So that's a trick that our techs use in the colder climates. Works really, really well. The biggest thing you don't want to do is drain. Okay?
Yes.
Because then you're going to have a small amount of water in the plumbing that will freeze up quick.
I feel like one of your other questions are about that. If they're not filling it and it's in the winter time.
If my outdoor hot tub won't be used for 5 months in the winter, can I winterize it by draining the water and using RV antifreeze?
Not that one, but
as described in the manual, will that void the warranty? So we answered that, Janie in Vermont.
Yep.
It will not void the warranty. Make sure you do a great, great job. Let's see, this is the other one. We have a new H2X TheraPool D. I love that.
yeah.
I love the TheraPool D. It used to be called the Fit back in the day. And same mold and really neat tub. And that's what Lou has. We have a new H2X TheraPool D, but we haven't started it up yet due to an ongoing construction project. We will be living elsewhere for a few months this winter. Is it safe to wait to fill and start the tub after we move back in February, March? Sarah in Maryland. So Sarah, what I don't know is if you're winterized now.
Most likely not.
Most likely not. So you would need to winterize that properly to guarantee you don't have an issue. If it's winterized properly, there's no reason you can't do what you're planning on doing. But I would bet it's not. In fact, if we were NASA, we would tell you to do it anyway.
Yeah, if it's wrapped up and you got it delivered just without any knowledge that it was winterized, you should, because you don't want the pipes to freeze.
And I think when they're wrapped, they say winterized. I think they have
so
a sticker.
too.
I think Master uses a sticker that says winterized, so if it's not wrapped, call the dealer and find out.
Yeah.
But based on the time of year, I'm looking at my watch. For the time of year it is, I'm thinking it's probably not winterized yet. Okay. This is the baking soda.
Okay.
If I use baking soda, it would increase alkalinity in my new Trainer 12. I have an in-ground pool. Always use baking soda, it would increase. So Mick, as long as it's exactly the same, you can. But if there's any problem that happens as a result of it not being, exactly right, that's the risk on you. In a pool, they're much more forgiving for harsh chemicals than a swim spa with this beautiful, acrylic gel coat. They need to be protected.
Yep.
So that's all. Okay?
You can use the fragrance as long as they are for spa safe fragrances. You don't want to use salts. They are spa safe in fragrances. Here, do you want? Yep. All right.
Which way is it facing?
It's facing you.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Now it's facing you. And my car.
If my master spa is an indoor spa, do I need to empty and refill and change filters? 100% yes, Eileen in PA. This swim spa is indoors. We change the water at least once a year. We rinse out our filters if we're being good once a month. But yes, it doesn't matter. The water chemistry really doesn't matter being outside or inside. how do you recommend removing and cleaning the jets? Well, really, you don't have to. However, the jets are like a little clip-in lock, so you just push them in and unlock and remove it. If you need to,
As you can see,
I'm not sure you need to wash it.
there's no real cleaning.
Yeah, I mean, I
necessary
guess
there.
you could rinse it under the.
I mean, it's spotless.
sink,
It's
but-
spotless.
Yeah, and here we don't use any silicone to seal the jets, so you don't have that like yucky.
Yeah,
clump.
like in a shower.
Yeah, and then you just lock the jet back in place.
It's 4:40 and we still have 85 people on there.
Wow.
That's fun.
This is awesome. Okay,
Thanks.
my grandson got in the hot tub without showering after being in a lake. Now it has algae. I've shocked, drained it, and cleaned the filter. Are there any more steps I need to take before refilling? That's from John in Alabama. Your algae does not have anything to do with your grandson from the lake. You might need a new ozonator.
Or something, yeah.
Or rinse out your filters maybe, but it is not from the lake.
Check your test strips.
Yeah.
There's something going on there.
And you might, like I said, the ozonator will kill, the ozone kills the bacteria and algae, so yours might not be working correctly. You might want to have that checked. Tina in California, if you don't use your spa for a week or two, should you put in any sanitizer during that time? Actually, can you answer
Yep.
that? I mean, I would recommend, yes, putting in maybe a tablespoon or two
I turned
of
off.
chlorine.
I turned it off on you.
Oh, thank you.
So, okay, so if you're not using it for a week or two, I would take a look at it. Because there's some. It depends. Do you have a circ pump? Do you not have a circ pump? What kind of are you using? Bromine? Are you using chlorine? Are your levels where they're supposed to be? Are they not where they're supposed to be?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit subjective. I would tell you if it was 1 week, you're probably not going to have too many worries. 2 weeks, you may 2 weeks definitely want to check it. But I would go pop a cover and make sure there's chlorine in there and make sure you're good. Every few days just to ward off an issue that potentially you could have with cloudy water. So again, how old is the water? There's so many, if the water was at the end of its life, is it going to get cloudy? Yeah, it probably will.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, certainly. Okay.
And my last question is from
let me spin it
Judy
around.
in Colorado. I have just purchased new filters. Can I put them directly into the spa, or do I need to soak or pre-treat them somehow? They should be ready to go.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything to them initially. Just put them right in.
I feel like back in the day, I heard something about pre-treating them or soaking them in a
Oh,
bucket.
really?
Okay. Way back. It may be 15 years ago, but I don't ever do it.
Yeah.
So just pop them in. All right. I think that's about it.
All right. Yeah, we kind of went over, but we love getting your questions while we're on live and trying to answer as many as we can. We will go back to get anything that we didn't, as long as it's relevant.
We'll be on there tonight.
And we will see everybody in 2 weeks, which is Wednesday, November 10th.
That's the Marine Corps birthday.
It's also my sister's birthday, and we're gonna wish Ben a happy birthday for tomorrow, and we will see everybody in 2 weeks at our normal Facebook Live time, 4 p.m. Eastern. So
Awesome,
thank
guys.
you guys for joining us. We'll get
Yep.
to your questions later.
Yep, we'll be on there tonight.
Yep.
We'll catch you later.
Have a good night.
Be good.